All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division, where we are going to get past all this Sideshow Bob stuff going on. Gervonta Davis speaks out and says that he will be returning this year, and there are talks of exactly who it will be. And one of them may be a future Hall of Famer. The other one is a big name fighter for Mexican fans. And more importantly, it would be the third fight of the year for Gervonta Davis. And you can like it or lump it, because let me tell you, dog, this 135-pound division is about to get good. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division, where we have a lot of things going on. It is most definitely one of the most talented divisions in boxing, and despite what people are saying, the best are fighting the best in this division. Now, before I get into the details of it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much. If you're new to the channel, hey man, if you like it, hit the subscribe button. Look, we talk boxing all the time over here. Whether you agree with me or not, we're going to have good discussions. We're going to focus mostly on American boxing here and stay kind of in the glamour divisions of boxing. However, on the live streams, we'll get into everything above the weight class of, let's say, 115 pounds and above. Much below that, you'd be better off to take a trip to Thailand. Anyway, let's get into this, because Gervonta Davis spoke out, confirmed some things that were obvious, but did say some things that is really good news, because we are going to get another fight with Gervonta Davis this year. And we know who it will not be against and have a good idea of who it may be against. And I'm telling you right now, I don't care what any of you guys say out here in this comment section. Either one of these fights are good fights. So who are they? One is the most obvious, the one that Coach Calvin Ford of Gervonta Davis's team said that he was looking at, and that was the fight with Cruz, the young Mexican fighter, goes by the name alias of Pitbull, somebody that Gervonta Davis has a good reason to fight. And then the second one that is being bantered about is Gary Russell Jr., who is a future, in my opinion, a future Hall of Famer. Gary Russell Jr., one of the best 126-pound fighters that there's been this century, and one of the most avoided and ducked fighters that there have been in boxing, who, in my opinion, deserves this fight. Now, why does he deserve the fight? He deserves the fight the same reason that Terrence Crawford deserves the fight with Canelo at 168 pounds. Somebody may disagree with me about it. That's fine and dandy or whatever. However, everybody deserves, after you have that level of performance in your career, you deserve to get a big-time, big-name fight and an opportunity to perform on the big stage. To not let Gary Russell Jr. ever get that during his career would be a travesty, because he is that good a fighter, had been that good a fighter, and he was blatantly blackballed by the 126-pound division, which basically is turned into a UK division. If you look at how many shots guys like Leigh Wood, guys like Mick Conlon, Carl Frampton all get at those belts, and how people let's say Carl Frampton, Frampton. What is Frampton's first name, man? The other guy that goes by Carl Frampton, that goes by the name of El Chacal. I think that's Carl Frampton. But him, Leigh Wood, God, what is that kid's name? Josh Warrington. Josh Warrington is the guy's name I'm looking forward to. Then you got guys like Kiko Hernandez that fights for those belts all the time. All those just over and over again. Leo Santa Cruz. None of these guys wanted to fight Gary Russell Jr. when he's there. Gary Russell Jr. holds that WBC belt down, only being able to fight mandatories. And so for the people that say, well, he was so inactive, he's inactive because nobody wanted to fight him. He couldn't get a voluntary fight out of those guys to fight for that belt. So what did he have to do? He had to fight mandatory after mandatory after mandatory, all the way to he runs into Mark Magsayo and he hurts his shoulder and literally in my opinion, beats Mark Magsayo with one hand. So to allow him to get up and get a fight with Gervonta Davis, I think would be nice to see in his career. And people saying he's just going to get bowled over and knocked out. You ain't never seen that happen before. So if Gervonta Davis does it, then Gervonta Davis does it, because Gervonta Davis can most definitely crack. But don't act like Gary Russell Jr. is not like that as a fighter. That if Gary Russell Jr. fights Gervonta Davis, that's going to be the most skilled fighter that Gervonta Davis has ever fought. Easy. So on the one hand, I do not mind at all the Isaac Cruz fight, because I vividly remember people saying how that Isaac Cruz had exposed Gervonta Davis, that he went the distance, he couldn't knock him out. When people said, oh, well, Gervonta Davis's hand was hurt. Oh, don't make excuses. That's just an excuse. We don't want to hear excuses. He couldn't even knock that guy out. And he lost to the guy. So I don't want to hear it. If he fights either the guy that people were saying that he lost to, or the guy that should be going to the Hall of Fame and has been avoided by anybody and everybody anywhere near his weight, with the exception of Vasily Lomachenko. Shout out to Vasily Lomachenko at 126. And by the way, Gary Russell Jr. gave Vasily Lomachenko a very, very good fight, even though he was seriously outsized at 126 pounds. I like the fight all day long. And it's just funny to me that people that will say, oh, Gary doesn't deserve the fight. Because Gary's at 126, this is 135. Gary's not active enough. Gary's not this, Gary's not that. Want Gervonta Davis to jump up from 135 to 147 pounds to fight Keith Thurman. Want him to jump up to 147 pounds to fight Terrence Crawford. See, here's the problem with Gervonta Davis and Gary Russell Jr. fight amongst a lot of people that talk about it, is that they want both of these guys to lose. So if you want Gervonta to lose and you want Gary Russell to lose, how could you want both of them to fight? Because one of them is going to have to win, right? Or there's going to be a draw and neither one of them are going to lose. However, both of them can't lose at the same time. That's impossible in boxing. So act like that's not a good fight to be made. Also, for the people that are talking about money and why, like, for example, why Terrence Crawford doesn't need to fight Jaron Ennis because what's in it for him? There's no money in it for him. You can't say that about he's looking for bigger challenges. Well, hey, what about Gary Russell Jr. that's looking for bigger challenges? Or Gervonta Davis is looking for a named opponent in an area of the country where people know his name and will be interested in seeing the fight. And that is most definitely Gary Russell Jr. Gervonta Davis he's a slick southpaw, Black American slick southpaw. Some of y'all, a type of fighter, some of y'all say Gervonta Davis refuses to fight. So anyway it goes, man, I'm down with either one of these fights. And also, because you're not going to get a Shakur Stevenson fight, you're not going to get a Frank Martin fight. I'd take Edwin DeSantos, I guess, if Edwin DeSantos is out there to make the fight. But people are just going to act like Edwin DeSantos is another flat-footed person with a Hispanic last name or a Latin last name. So anyway, it's danged if you do, danged if you don't for Gervonta. But if Gervonta fights Isaac Cruz or Gervonta fights Gary Russell Jr., better believe I'm going to pay for that pay-per-view. If not, go see it myself. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.